Good morning, everyone. I hope you guys are all having a blessed week. Hey, we did two videos. Both videos last week were about falling out of fellowship with God, and we hit different aspects of that. And this is the third one in that series. And this is about the effects of that. You know that you can be a born-again believer and be totally saved and yet fall out of fellowship with God. And it's never good when that happens. I know personal experience, it's happened to me a couple times, but it's never good. So John 8:32 says, "And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free." Well, you know what? If the truth will set you free, then the exact opposite is also true. And that is that error will bind you. Therefore, anything that has you bound is always error. So when you're in total fellowship with God, when you are in perfect fellowship with God, there are three things that come into your life. And that is love, joy, and peace. Your world is just full of peace. And whenever you fall out of fellowship with God, the very first thing that happens is your peace is just gone. It vanishes. When Adam and Eve sinned in the garden, what was the first thing they did? Their peace was gone. They ran and hid. So this is what Paul tells us in Romans 8:6. He says, "For to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace." To the born-again believer, you should always be in perfect peace. No matter what's going on around you, no matter what the circumstances, you should still be in peace. Galatians 5:1, Paul goes on to tell us, he says, "Stand fast therefore in the liberty wherewith Christ has made us free, and be not entangled again with the yoke of bondage." When you go out of fellowship with God, you come under the yoke of bondage. When you lose fellowship with God, even though you're still born again, you lose your freedom. You lose your freedom. You're bound. And these are some of the signs that you are completely out of fellowship with God. Number one, always, is you don't read your Bible as much. Almost every born-again believer, you should be in your Bible every day. You should set aside a time when you get up first thing in the morning, before you go to bed, maybe at lunchtime, but you should have a set time every day where you read your Bible. Well, when you fall out of fellowship with God, your Bible normally goes in one of your drawers on your nightstand. And the next one to follow is your prayer life totally suffers. Your prayer life completely suffers. You don't pray at all. And the next one is you start to have health issues. Things start going wrong with your body. You have health issues. People I know that every time whenever I have ever fallen out of fellowship with God, health issues were soon to follow. The next one is you have financial issues. Whenever you fall out of fellowship with God, you have financial issues. Your finances start to stink. Where you used to put money in savings every month, now you're withdrawing money every month. Things are breaking. Things are going wrong. When you fall out of fellowship with God, your finances always suffer. Your freedom is completely gone, and you are now bound. The worst part is when you fall out of fellowship with God, the demonic host has legal access to you. People, all these symptoms that I just gave you, all these symptoms, they're all brought about by the demonic host. When you fall out of fellowship with God, the demonic host just swarm right in on your life. They're the ones that take away your health. They're the ones that take away your finances. They do all those things. You give them legal right. When you're out of fellowship with God, the blessings from God quit flowing. That peace that you once had, all that love, joy, but especially the peace that was just reigning in your life, it's all replaced. The first one that comes in is fear. Anytime you're not in fellowship with God, you're in fear because you know you're not in fellowship with God. The next one is anxiety. You're filled with anxiety. The next one is isolation. You feel like you're alone. And the next one is you get afflicted. Your body gets afflicted. And lastly, you feel as if something evil is hanging on you. You can feel the demonic host hanging on. The only way out of this situation is to figure out what has made you break fellowship with God. What has come between you and God? And you guys know this by heart by now because I hit on it all the time. There's only three things that can take you out of fellowship with God. It's either people, places, or things. People. Who's in your life that shouldn't be? Who's in your life that shouldn't be? The next one is places. Where are you going that you shouldn't be going? And people, listen. That includes this little guy right here. This little guy right here. The one that holds that mouse. Where are you going that you shouldn't be going? What are you clicking on that you shouldn't be clicking on? And the next one is things. What things are in your life that are coming between you and God? And they can be innocent things. So what do you do about this? What do you do? People, if you're out of fellowship with God and these symptoms apply to you, it's very simple to get back into fellowship with God. It's the easiest thing in the world to do. You simply tell God, you just ask God, Lord, what is it? Lord, what is in my life that has broken fellowship with you? Tell me what it is, Lord, and help me to get rid of it. If it's a sin you've had forever and you can't get rid of it, you have to ask the Lord to take it from you. People, if you do that, if you will ask God, He will do it. God's absolute main objective with you is to be in perfect fellowship, and He will help you to be in fellowship. Isaiah 41:13, this is what it says. For I, the Lord thy God, will hold thy right hand, saying, fear not, I will help you. People, if you've fallen out of fellowship with God, and you're bound, and the demonic host is just tearing you up, get on your knees, ask God to identify what it is, get rid of it, and get back into fellowship. Because listen, all the things that are happening, they'll all go away. They'll all go away. The Lord will heal you. He'll completely heal you. He'll heal your finances. He'll bless you, but mainly He'll take away the fear and restore the love, joy, and peace. People, if you're born again, the worst thing in the world, this is worse than being unsaved. The worst thing in the world is to be a born-again believer and being out of fellowship with God. That is absolute, total misery. Guys, if you're out of fellowship with God, get it fixed. You can do this. I got total confidence in you. Anyway, I just wanted to give you something to think about. Heaven or hell, you choose. Just remember, once you take your last breath, it's a done deal.